What's up everybody, we are back for another Rainbow Six Siege tutorial. This one's going to be primarily on defense, so there's going to be three main types of defense that we're going to cover. So the first one's going to be anchoring, so this entire video is just going to be about how to anchor and how to best help your team. So let's get into it.
What it really means to live life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. Yeah, about to see it shine, cause we're golden.
So first of all, the best operators that you can probably go as for anchoring is going to be Tachanka, Echo, Mira, Maestro, Alibi, Cade, Goyo, Wamai, Mute, Rook, and Smoke. And I will discuss a little bit about how to use their gadgets, but I'm not going to go super in depth. If you want me to do like separate videos on how to play a specific operator, I can do that, just let me know. So next is going to be the four most important things that you need to do in order to be a successful anchor. So the first is going to be never peeking in the same spot twice, and I'll get into all of these, so don't worry about that. The next is going to be, what did I write down? Situational awareness, and then gadget usefulness, and the ability to keep your cool. And I'll get into all of these in a little bit. And then that's going to bring us to some stuff that's going to be nice, but not really necessary. So the first one is going to be teammates with microphones that can be watching cams and helping you with different callouts and stuff like that to help you out. The next one's going to be map knowledge, which is something that everyone always says that everyone needs. You don't necessarily need it to be a good anchor. It's just an acquired skill, and it will help you. You just don't need it. So next is going to be where to place your respective gadgets. So generally for like anything that has cameras or anything, I usually keep them just outside of the OBJ, so people will be able to tell you when people are coming in or something like that, or if they're trying to breach or anything like that. One thing that can be very helpful for your team is going to be for you as the anchor to go and reinforce the hatch. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but the reason for this is if Jackal comes to that hatch and scans the feet at the hatch, and then all of a sudden it's just someone in the objective instead of a roamer, you're going to help out the roamers, and then you can relay the information that Jackal's right there to the roamer. Maybe the roamer can get Jackal, and so it's kind of like a win-win deal, a little bit of a trade-off. Next thing is going to be where and how to reinforce. This is going to come with map knowledge, obviously, but general rule of thumb, you reinforce every OBJ except for kids in house. It might be different with the new map, we'll have to see how that goes. And then the last one, which is very, very good, and I highly encourage you guys to do this, is get some good teammates that are supportive and that want to see you do good. And even when you mess up as an anchor, they're going to be there and saying, hey man, good try, you did pretty good, let's get them next time. So to kind of better explain this, I have a clip that didn't have any audio in it. For some reason it didn't record right, so I can't really put it on the channel anyways, so I'm going to use this. So this is a frost clutch that I had. We're going to kind of slowly break it down and talk about some of the steps and advice that I gave you guys that ended up working for me. So the first one, just look at how I usually try to not peek the same angle ever. You'll see that I usually try to crouch down. I'll make my way to the left of the desk, and I'll look at different angles always, because you don't want to keep popping up right where they expect you to be, because then you're just going to get killed anyways. And situational awareness is going to come into this too. I put frost mats on the edge of the desk because these guys were rushing all before, so I was kind of a little bit prepared for that. So anyways, let's start breaking this down. So there you go, there's IQ pushed in, and I knew IQ was going to rush me, so I just let her rush, and she hit the frost mat. And then this is Zofia charges, so I was using situational awareness here to know that Zofia was in, I think it's the left door. No, it's the right door, see, okay, so I saw the tracer, so I know Zofia's in the right door. But I don't know where the rest of the team is, so I'm still kind of trying to be smart here. I know that was I know that was a bad play right there. And then I saw Habana in the same door that Zofia was in. So I'm gonna work my way over and try to peek on Habana. And there's Habana. And here's the never peeking the same angle coming in right after I do that. Right over here, he's gonna be never peeking the same angle. So thank you, Jaeger ADS, for that. And right here, so I'm going to be peeking the left. They're expecting me to be to the right because that's where I was the whole time. And there, I get the easy dub because they were expecting me right where I killed the other guys. Their team was probably yelling at them, behind the desk, behind the desk. And then I came out and I got them from the side. So that's that. And then the last tip for the necessary stuff, the keep your cool tip. I was trying to keep myself as cool as possible. Obviously, when it's a 1v whatever, you start to get really stressed out. Just try to relax. Just remember it's only a game. Just have fun with it, you know? The last thing I'm going to help you guys out on is gadget usefulness. I forgot to cover that, so let's get back into that. So the first operator cover is going to be Tachanka. He has a mounted LMG. Basically, his gun is the perfect thing for you set up in a doorway and you don't want anybody to enter the doorway, so you just spray and pray into the doorway and it'll deny entry. Especially if it's down to like the last 10 seconds or something, you just start shooting in the hallway and chances are you're either going to get them or they're going to be too scared to get in. Next operator is going to be Echo, and he has the Yokai, which is basically a drone that becomes invisible. His gadget is useful in an anchor sense, not because it can hit them, but because it's an invisible camera. So that's why I usually have it kind of just outside OBJ, especially in very common entry points. So then your teammates that are already dead can let you know when people are entering and where they're entering. Mira is also pretty straightforward. So she has the black mirror. Basically just puts it on the wall. You can see through it, they can't. And you can also pop it and shoot them. Not much more that you need to know than that. Maestro is a really good anchor. His LMG, you can just spray into a doorway and help make sure they don't enter. And his Evil Eye, you can use it to destroy charges on hard walls or soft walls, but hard walls is definitely way more important. You can destroy thermite charges, for instance, or Habana charges. You can also kind of distract them and be a little pest, just like a wasp buzzing you. A lot of people don't believe me about Alibi being a really good anchor, but if you've seen some of my Alibi defensive clips, then you would know that Alibi is an extremely good anchor, because even if you're last alive, if you have a couple Prismas still alive, you know, they're going to be on their toes looking for you, and they might be super edgy, hit your Alibi, and then boom, you got them. Or even if you don't get them when they hit your Alibi or your Prisma, then you know where they're entering. So then you can kind of transition, you can look in that doorway, or you can hold a better angle, anything like that. Now Cade, I had on the list before he got nerfed, so I'm not 100% sure if he's still a decent defender. I don't use him too much. I used to use a shotgun, but now I've switched over to his other one. So I'll have to get back to you on Cade being a good anchor. But he does have the electric claw. You can electrify hatches or anything, make sure people don't breach into them. So the next is going to be Goyo. I cannot tell you how many times I have, maybe I think 6 seconds left in the match, they still haven't come in the room. You just light up a Goyo shield and then they can't even enter, and you win the match just because of your gadget. So that's an extremely useful gadget itself. Even if you don't want to anchor with Goyo, whoever is anchoring can use your shields to their advantage. But he also has a really good kit for anchorings. Next is Wamai. Pretty straightforward why he'd be a good anchor. So his magnet system is kind of like Legion's thing, where you slowly get them throughout the game. So obviously if you're in an OBJ the whole time, then you can be throwing them all over the place. So then when it comes time for them to breach, if they're throwing flashbangs or smoke grenades or even frag grenades at you, it's not gonna It's not going to ruin your position, basically. You can still cover your same angle and hopefully win the round. Mute is going to be a very, very strong anchor. You can move around his mute jammers whatever need be. If you're worried about hard breachers, you can move them to the walls. You can mute entryways or drone holes, even if you're worried about them droning in. He has a very strong build. A lot of people run both SMGs or shotgun and SMG. I actually use the MP5 and then his pistol. I think his pistol is a little bit better. I have a really hard time with SMG, but that's Mute. Rook is a strong anchor only because he is so thick that basically it's more of a can I kill you before you hit me 100 times, making me die, unless they get a headshot. I mean, that might do it. The last good anchor that I'm going to say is Smoke, and that's only because his gas grenade can deny entry even when there's like 10 seconds left. You put a couple gas grenades on the door, pop them off, and boom, they don't have enough time to rotate to the other entry point, so they lost the round or they died to your smoke. So I'm just going to leave you with a couple last tips here. So you got never peek in the same spot twice, and that's basically just saying if you're holding an angle and they shoot at you or they know where you are, maybe crouch down and look at the angle, or maybe you can totally change positions from maybe the right side of the doorway, they shot at you or they saw you, and then they left or something, then go to the left side of the doorway. Next is going to be situational awareness. So basically, you know, your teammates are pinging them or they're telling you where they are, anything like that. You can use that stuff to your advantage. Gadget usefulness, which I just covered, and then keeping your cool. So basically just kind of try to relax, have some fun, just remember it's just a game. And with that, that is the second installation of the tutorial series, how to anchor. So if you have any more questions or anything like that, let me know. If you think I missed anything, let me know. Thanks for watching.